All right. Now we're here at the Anytime Fitness Woodstock Gym, providing 24-hour access, personal training, and group workouts with Kane.
Yeah.
Did I say that correct? Okay, no. Kane, your interests, nutrition, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, woodworking and home improvement, fantasy, sci-fi books, movies, work, career, volunteer, firefighter, gym manager, husband, and a dad of one. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. Have you always wanted to be a trainer, manager, owner?
Yeah, when I started my fitness journey, I was actually in, I think, my senior year of high school, and I was close to 300 pounds, couldn't run a block if you had a gun to my head, and had the crazy idea that I wanted to join the Marine Corps. It didn't end up working out. I'll ruin the story early. I had an eye surgery they just didn't accept.
Okay.
But I spent about 2 years working with them trying to enlist. In somewhere along the way, I started researching fitness, right? Like I needed to be able to run, I needed to lose weight.
Yeah.
I think I needed to be in the 180s to be able to actually go to boot camp at my height. But so I was trying to figure out how I could do it in a more intelligent way versus just not eating and running all day or trying to run all day. But so at some point I figured out enough that the recruiters were like, hey, you made this huge change. Like you are running I think it was a 19-minute or 20-minute 3 mile, had dropped a ton of weight. I think I was close to the 180 mark, maybe 190 at the time. And they're like, hey, can you help out these other poolees as people in the delayed entry program? But they're like, can you help out these other people? And I was like, sure, yeah, I can do that. So I ended up starting my coaching career actually with that at my
nice.
like senior year. So I worked with the recruiting station for about 2 years. And I was like, wow, this sucks for me, right? Like not the training them, but the journey that I was going on with fitness, where I was trying to learn how to eat, what to eat, how do I continue performing well, right? Doing my pull-ups. It was, I think, pull-ups, crunches, and a 3 mile run. How do I keep getting better at that? How do I do better at the things the Marine Corps boot camp was going to put me through? And I was trying to get other people ready to do that too, and I wanted them to struggle less than I did. But so that's
Don't we all?
Right. But so that's what got me into personal training. That's actually how I started. Marine Corps didn't work out. Again, like I said, I had that eye surgery. And actually 3 doors down from the recruiting station was a nutrition coaching club, studio, however you want to call it.
Okay.
So when it didn't work out with the Marine Corps, I was like, oh, maybe I'll go try that. And they were a sister company to Anytime Fitness.
Okay.
So it's actually how I got my into Anytime Fitness as well. As I'd worked there for a little bit, and then actually had a short break where wasn't sure what I was doing with my life. I was 18 or 19 at the time, so I tried going to college for a little bit. Worked at Baskin Robbins, scooping ice cream. Yeah, that was actually
I love some ice cream.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. But then I ended up actually working at Anytime Fitness, and that's kind of where I started. So I started working as a trainer, and eventually was offered to come out to this Woodstock location and start managing.
Very good. Very good. Let's see. I wanted to basically I wanted to clarify your certificates and how long you've had them for.
Yeah, I just went through NASM, or National Academy of, I think it's Sports Medicine.
Okay.
I just went through their CPT program, or their Certified Personal Trainer program.
Yep.
It was a very good program, but I was mostly self-taught, which is normally a red flag when someone says that. But everything I was doing was working. I had too many people that were getting results where I was like, oh, this all makes sense, this all works. And I did a bunch of certifications after getting my NASM cert as well, but I essentially just got my NASM cert so I could start working at a commercial club like Anytime Fitness, because they need to be able to cover me under their liability insurance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't do any formal education besides that certification, and just a bunch of self-research.
Okay. All right. And for your assessments, and then do you give nutrition advice?
I advice for sure. I used to be one of the nutrition coaches here at the club as well when we were first getting it launched. But now we have enough coaches that are certified in the Anytime Fitness nutrition certification, where now they can do it, and
Okay.
I can kind of have them do more of that. But yeah, followed a lot of information from Jason Phillips. He's the founder of, I think it's Nutrition Coaching Institution, which is a certification that you could go through.
Okay.
But he's wonderful. But yeah, we do give nutrition advice. If someone needs nutrition coaching, or they need someone to actually give them a meal plan or something like that, you'll see me wave during this whole time. I'm just
Yeah,
waving at
no,
members.
that's fine. Yep.
But we do give nutrition coaching, and where someone wants like a meal plan, or someone wants to know what their macros need to be, or where they should be if they're trying to reach a goal. But it's kind of looked at as a separate service. I believe it's covered differently under insurance as well, so we do have to have a separate thing for that.
Right. It's like a liability. thing.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's whatever, silly corporate things. But with it, when someone does personal training, there's obviously nutrition guidance that's being given the whole time. It's just not as in depth as someone going through like a nutrition coaching.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Let me give you the. Do you have training style?
I focused mostly on strength training when I was a personal trainer. Most of the trainers I have here as well do, just because we're looking to give people the biggest bang for their buck, right? Like you coming into the gym and running for 30 minutes on the treadmill is great, right? You're going to get better at running. But most people come in here and they don't want to spend a bunch of time in the gym. They just want results.
Yeah.
So strength training does more than just doing cardio. Especially, most people aren't ready to take the hurdle into diving into their nutrition right at the start too.
You're
So,
right.
but they're interested in coming to the gym and working out. But so using strength training helps them build muscle, helps them burn more calories while doing nothing. So you're able to help them adapt through strength training. I used to compete in powerlifting, so I'm a little biased where I think the squat, the bench, the overhead press, the deadlift, like those big movements are the best things for most people.
Pretty crucial.
Right. They're just, the movement pattern is what you're training more so than, how much do you squat? It's how well do you squat is kind of how I looked at it.
You're right. Controlled weight
yes,
is
yes.
better than overweight.
Yeah, just slinging it
Okay,
around
yep.
and
Yep.
being injured every 3 months. Yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, so I'm a little biased. I think that now it can be regressed or progressed however you need it. So if you have 86-year-old Denise and she can't get up and down from the ground without assistance, yeah, you're probably not going to put a barbell on her back and have her squat,
Okay.
right? But she might be able to squat to a bench, holding on to like a suspension trainer, or you have your hand out slightly for her to hold on to you. So that's still a squat. But then you might have, I don't know, 19-year-old, what's the normal name? Matthew, who wrestled, played baseball, like he's been a stud for his high school career,
Yeah.
and so
Totally.
you can put a barbell on his back, and he'll probably be pretty good to start loading that.
Yep.
But so that's probably my training style, is mostly focusing on the strength training aspect, biased to using barbells, using those big compound movements.
Okay. All right. And so, do you have a baseline testing from 3 to 6 months?
I wouldn't say 3 to 6 months. We test every 4 to 6 weeks, so every month and a half.
Okay, that's even better.
We measure body fat percentage, we measure muscle mass, bone density, obviously weight is in there. We use a tool called an eVolt 360 scan.
Okay.
It's,
I've heard of that.
I'll butcher the pronunciation. but essentially it sends like a very, very low voltage electric shock through you.
Yep.
And then it's able to tell through water displacement what's muscle, what's bone, what's what tissue. I always tell people it's very, very precise. It's not always accurate.
Yeah.
Meaning it might say you're at 20% body fat, and your next scan will say 19 or 21 or 18, right? And it's very precise tracking your progress. But that initial 20%, you might actually be 30% or 10%. Like we won't really ever know.
Right.
The best way to measure your body fat percentage is actually if you die and you remove the fat and weigh it after
right.
you're so.
Yeah.
But no one really wants to die to know their body fat percentage,
No.
which is interesting. Can't imagine why. But so we use that every 4 to 6 weeks. Just to make sure someone's seeing progress. We want to know what's happening. Is the program that they're running working? If their bone density is increasing, muscle mass is increasing, we know we're going in a positive direction.
Okay.
Because those going up, we'll normally see body fat percentage have like an inverse relationship. So as those go up, body fat percentage will come down.
Okay. So you're saying basically in the first month, you're analyzing whether they're doing good or bad through their progress?
Yeah, I would be careful with saying bad, because there's an emotional component, right? Like
right.
people,
Yeah.
I guess statistically, like, did they see a, or maybe not statistically, logically, like, did they see a positive outcome or see a negative outcome? Sure, but they'll scan right when they start here at the gym, so we'll know their body fat percentage right off the get-go. A lot of people won't want to see it because they're starting from scratch. Like they might not have ever been in a gym.
Right,
They're nervous of it, so we don't have them look if they don't want to. Some people are gun-ho and really want to know. I just rhymed. But we get them started, and then 4 to 6 weeks later, we'll do another scan.
Okay.
To know what's happened in that month or so.
Yeah.
Most of the time that second scan, that first month checkup, people see a lot of change, especially if they're starting from scratch, because now you've been consistent in the gym for a month, right?
Yeah.
Like normally you end up eating better without even thinking about it. You end up moving more than you were. So people see a decent amount of change. I would say, just because you brought up 3 to 6 months, I would say at the 6 month mark is when you'll either see someone struggling, albeit if it's from nutrition, if it's from lifestyle, birthdays, something came up, or you see someone have a lot of change and they're down 10% body fat and they've seen a lot of changes during that time. And we would just coach in a different way depending as to, I guess, what road they're on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, I get that. A lot of good things. I thank you very much for.
Yeah.
But we're going to go on to this next one. We're going to switch gears.
Okay.
So, actually, tell me a little bit more about your day-to-day.
Specifically managing the club?
Yeah.
Okay. Gosh, do you want to know all the boring stuff or just the fun stuff?
Highlight some things.
Okay. So I come in, I normally like put my coffee down, go fist bump and say hi to every trainer that's here, say hi to their clients. Sometimes the trainer will have something that they need help with, or they're like, oh, this person's doing amazing, and I get to go see that, and it's really fun. I do miss training, so it's a little bit of a jump back into what I used to do every day.
Right.
So I get to actually hang out with them and see what's going on. Then we'll skip all of my boring stuff of doing like administration work, customer service, if there's any tours or anything like that.
Yep.
Like that, I don't want to say that's boring. It's actually really fun for me to do a tour and talk to somebody new that it just wants to see the place and isn't sure if they want to sign up here or they want to sign up somewhere else. But I'll get to do that tour if any of them are scheduled, if someone walks in, whatever it is. I would then say I probably meet with each coach once a day, whether it's formally or informally, and kind of get to know what's going on with them, aside from just that initial meeting where I say hi to them.
Okay.
Because normally they're all working by the time I get here. We do have a couple that I just love to be up really, really late at night, so they get in later. But normally they're all working by the time I get in. But so then those that aren't here yet, that are more of the like late night crew, I'll get to see them when they come in, and we'll eventually talk during the day to see what's going on. I probably talked to my like regional managers probably once a day as well, in case something's going on. And then, I mean, we'll email the entire day as well, and just from different things going on in the club. Well, now I feel like there's nothing I do in my day.
There's a lot of things that you do in your day.
Maybe it's just become so routine that I don't notice. But yeah, a lot of it just comes down to trying to talk to members and talk to trainers as much as I can throughout the day. I do get to highlight a couple of members every now and then. And then we have the regulars that come in every single day, so I get to chat them up for a bunch of time too.
Okay, good deal. So let me ask you, like we're really gonna switch it up. So tell me a little bit more, something personable.
Okay.
When's the last time you cried?
Oh, I'm not a crier. It was probably when my son was born, which was 11 months ago. And a lot of it was more so just like pride for my wife of going through delivery and everything. I could never understand how that works. It almost doesn't make sense. And she's even said before, like, how was there a human inside of me that just came out? But we were so nervous that labor was going to be really rough, really taxing, and pretty much every single mom we talk to hates my wife because she pushed for about 7 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, labor was, I think, less than 12 hours total, and she pushed essentially 3 times, and he was out.
A lot of jealous mothers.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it was the second push, and then we could see his head, and I started waterworks. She then saw me, started crying. But yes, it was probably the last time that I've cried.
Very nice. Very nice.
Okay, throw it back on you. When was the last time you cried?
Okay. So let's see. About a week ago, we had a meeting. We're going over Bible verses, and the scripture came up where Jesus had died for us, and the only thing he asks is for us to live for him. And yeah, that kinda got
that'll
me.
get you.
Let's get off of that. Let's go. Funny story. Let's have your funniest story that you've witnessed or that you've saw.
Oh gosh. I feel like I'll start with this one only because she was okay. But I did see at one point this poor lady was either didn't know how to set the speed on the treadmill or set it too fast for what she could handle. And she kind of had like her feet on the sides of the treadmill where like the tread isn't running.
Yep.
And then she went to like jump onto it almost and couldn't really keep up, and her like sweatpants were a little too low. They were like kind of underneath her shoe, and she tripped and it shot her sweatpants off.
No way.
Yeah, not like fully off her body, but like down to her ankles, and she like tripped and kind of like fell onto her face onto the treadmill. Again, she was okay, like she didn't need any medical attention. She just embarrassed. But I was sitting in the office and I'm like, oh gosh, do I run out there immediately to see if she's okay, or do I like wait a second because she's trying to make sure no one was around to see it.
Very obviously, yeah.
Yeah. So I did wait a second, which maybe I shouldn't have, but she like pulled her pants up by that time. So I like walked out there. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you okay?
You're right.
And
Decent.
she more of just nervously laughed, and she's like, yeah, I'm fine, just embarrassed.
Very nice.
That's pretty funny.
Very nice. That is pretty funny.
You've been to tons of gyms. Do you like what's your funniest story?
Funniest story? The incline mill. Lady, like you said, maybe she didn't have the speeds correct.
Okay.
And pushed it. I have no clue. All of a sudden, it just started going, and she went to get on it, and then just like she fell forward. And luckily, she didn't fall. She grabbed the two handles
Okay.
on the side. So yeah, she was doing good. But yeah, that's the only one I got.
Maybe we should have a class on how to set your speed on a cardio. It's like it's a common trend apparently.
Speed 101.
Yeah.
Start with one.
There you go.
first,
There you
right? Okay. How? Okay. For new clients, new members,
Okay.
how could they exceed your expectations?
Oh, I think at least my expectations is someone being consistent. When someone's very, very consistent, like they say, I'm going to be here Monday, Tuesday, Thursday at 3 p.m. And they do that every single week for like week in, week out. They might come in a little bit more than that too, and that's great. But if they're like, this is what I know I can do and I'm going to always do that, and they do it, it's really, really nice to see.
All right, that's more reassuring.
Yeah, right,
That they're
right.
getting something out of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they, I think some people have the misconception that you need to be in the gym, 5 days a week, 6 days a week to see results, and it's like I work in a gym and I don't even work out that often, right? And maybe that's why I look like this, but for most people, they just want to feel better, they want to look better, they want to be able to have a weekend where they had a glass of wine and ate an entire pizza or something, right? And and not come in on Monday, not come in on Monday, and feel like they gained 20 pounds and can't lose it. So most people just want some dietary flexibility and want to feel good and look good. So I think sticking to like a minimum of whatever they can always commit to each week, and when someone stays really consistent, it's really impressive. It makes me proud for them.
We got the consistency. That's a fact. Let's see. So what are the problems you solve for people that come in?
I think it was a little different when I was a trainer, because as a trainer I got to be way more hands-on. I could kind of solve problems day to day with clients, versus as a club manager, I could be solving kind of day-to-day struggles. How do I put it? Through my trainers asking me how I would handle a situation or handle a struggle a client is having. So sometimes I can indirectly influence or indirectly help, but a lot of what I do is just try to reduce the barrier to entry for most people. There's some gyms that are really, really helpful for someone that's saying like, oh, I just want to have a gym membership. I go on a piece of cardio equipment every now and then, or every day I start my morning with 20 minutes, 30 minutes on the treadmill, and that's great. And we're probably not the best gym for that idea. We really do focus on that training aspect and making sure people are getting results, which plus and minus, right? Like that comes with a premium cost, which is valid. But my goal and how I normally end up helping is figuring out what someone's actually going to get results from. That's not always working with a coach 5 times a week. It's not always
perceived value.
Yeah, right. Like most of the time, I see people do really, really well with like a twice a week on average. But for me, it's trying to make sure that I can help them find something that's going to get them results, and also they're not having to sell their car to come here, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
My goal isn't just to make people pay a bunch of money. It's to get them results first and foremost.
Yeah.
So I think it comes from having my my mindset always coming from that trainer aspect of I want clients to see results. I want them to do well.
Yeah, right. Like, what are they benefiting?
Right. Versus
Because that's why they come.
Right.
They want to see benefits.
Yeah.
So what are the top 3 things you would like to see from clients, members?
I mean, consistency is always going to be the top one, right? Like even if someone consistently comes to the gym year over year, month over month, they're gonna see results. Whether they see some drastic change, whether they see some drastic change or they just feel better during their day. Like we have one guy, I won't name drop him, but he's comes in 4 to 5 times a week during his lunch break, pretty much every day at noon or 1. And sometimes he's like, yeah, my workout was awful. I didn't try. I didn't do much. He's like, but I made it here. And he's better off for it. Like, decent physique. He feels healthy. He goes to the doctor and all of his blood lipid panel, like everything's good. Sometimes you just don't have much effort to give to the gym, and that's all right. But he's just super consistent with it, and that's what matters. Albeit sometimes his workouts are very, very good. He's not commonly a bad workout guy, but
coming in, like you said, is
staying consistent. I think the next one would be to probably manage expectations. So if you have like a super large goal, like you want to lose 100 pounds, it's not going to happen in 3 months, right? And a lot of people could be sad hearing that, because if you're losing that amount of weight, or you losing a large amount of weight, and you lose it really quickly, it's very hard to keep that weight off, right? It's hard to maintain that because you did something so drastic to get there.
Yep.
Everybody's seen The Biggest Loser, right? Like the TV show where there's people that go, and all of them gain the weight back because they did some sort of like 8-week filming.
It wasn't a consistent.
Yeah, and they didn't eat anything, and they worked out a bunch during the day, and then they go back to their normal lives, and they gain all the weight back and then some. So I think managing the expectations of, well, hey, I have this goal. I'm going to shoot, if it's 100 pounds, I'm going to shoot for a year and a half. Because once you've reached your goal of losing 100 pounds, you probably want to go like 105 pounds, 103 pounds actually, because then you're gonna gain a little bit of weight right after you go back to your maintenance.
Yeah, right.
So go a little bit past, and just know that you're gonna come back to where you wanted. So if someone's 300 pounds, they want to weigh 200, go to like 195. Like try to get there, and that be your end of your diet or whatever phase you're kind of doing, your program you're doing. And then just know when you go back to kind of maintaining your weight, you're going to sit around that 200.
Yeah, right.
But so managing your expectation of this is going to take a bit, and the fact that it's taking a while isn't a bad thing. It's just frustrating because we all want it sooner than later, right? Yeah. But it is going to take a little bit, and I think that's important. So that way you know that going into it, versus having that mindset of like, oh, this is going to happen immediately. Like people that go into gyms just look amazing, right?
Right. Yeah. Where's the easy button?
Yeah. And there's not one yet. Pharmaceuticals are trying to get there right now, but we're not quite there yet. And then the third one, I could say this: the openness to experiencing the gym. Right, and that sounds a little silly saying that out loud, but some people just don't like the gym or working out. Like they get sweaty, or like you get a pump and it feels weird, just like the fluids rushing to that muscle that you're working out. Some people just don't like any of that, and it's okay to not, but just understanding that for right now, this is the way we get to your results. Until pharmaceuticals and pharmacology can get to a point where you just take a pill and now you have whatever dream physique you want without trying. This is how we get there, is experiencing the gym and experiencing dieting and nutrition.
Okay.
But so just knowing that your trainer or the gym itself isn't trying to torture you. And there might be some times where your trainer is a little mad and they take it out on you, and they shouldn't, right? But hopefully it's in a joking manner.
Yeah.
None of this is meant as a pain. It's an experience. You have to realize that as you do a set of squats and you're supposed to do 10 reps and you feel like you can only do 8, right? Like there's an amount of pain that kind of happens, and you have to decide if maybe you should stop at 8. Maybe that's where your effort level is supposed to be for the day. Or maybe you're just like, I don't want to do it. And you have to be like, well, I should, because I know I can get to 10, and I should just do this. And I think that openness is what would really help a client do well, and something that would help them be kind of a standout client, standout member.
Okay. So what I get from it is you have to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
You have to manage, and then you have to be open. Now,
Yeah.
would that be also open to like the new lifestyle, as where your nutrition, your sleep, and your workout
For
all
sure.
come together?
For sure, right?
Okay.
Nutrition is one of those things where it's really hard to change for a lot of people, right? Because you're so in your routine of like, this is what I eat, or well, I'm not going to start cooking because it takes too much time. It's way easier for me to drive to McDonald's on my way home from
Yeah.
work. And we get that as trainers. I get that, but it's one of those things where eventually you're gonna have to, right? You're gonna hit a wall where strength training or working out in a gym just isn't enough, right? You have to fix internally. Gosh, I wish I could do a car analogy. I don't know enough about cars, but you can only put so much paint on something before you're like, oh, this. I'll use construction. So like, you can only put so much paint on the side of a house or a doghouse, whatever you want to build,
Yeah.
before you're like, oh, there should be framing inside here. Like that, we didn't even put that up, and it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, right.
So you have to. Maybe that's not a good analogy either. But at some point you have to go into nutrition. It's not that you need to start weighing your food.
Right.
It helps if you can, but you just need to be aware that. A simple example is like things that are highly processed, meaning like anything in a package or wrapper or something like that is a processed food. Doesn't mean it's bad for you.
Right.
There's a whole debate on that right now. It's just processed. So normally through that processing, it's way easier to overeat that than something that's unprocessed. So I think some people get hung up on like processed foods being bad, and it's not. Like like rice, like brown rice to rice that people want to eat, because most people don't really like the taste of brown rice.
Right.
It's because brown rice still has the shell on it, or still has the husk on it.
Yep.
So there's more fiber, right, which could be good, but processing that and turning it into white rice where there's no shell on it anymore. Well, that processing didn't make it bad. You can just eat more of it now because
Yeah.
there's less fiber. It doesn't fill you up as much. So I think that nutrition aspect of people switching from like a highly processed food like McDonald's, which is super convenient, super processed, tastes great. People need to stop lying that it doesn't taste good. It does. But just knowing that, well, you could just go home and make a hamburger.
Yep.
Does it take time? Yeah, for sure. It's not convenient. But it's probably going to taste way better than you think. And it's probably going to do better for you when it comes to your health and fitness.
Okay. And then people also ask for sleep. What is the range you would recommend?
Besides just the blanket statement of get as much sleep as you possibly can.
Right.
Okay, we'll skip over that. Probably the recommendation of anywhere from 7 to 9 hours a night asleep, not in bed, like asleep 7 to 9 hours is really good. There's a tiny percentage of the human population that can function off of like 5 or 4 hours of sleep,
Right.
and it doesn't negatively affect their health markers at all. Pretty much anyone watching this is not in that population. because it's like a 1 to 2% of the population.
Oh wow.
It's tiny. But everyone will be like, oh, that's me, that's me. And it's not. But yeah, sleep's super important. So doing simple things like getting blackout curtains, so that way if there's a street light right in front of your house and it shines in through your windows, you have blackout curtains to remove that light. I've seen people even like tape, like electrical tape over like red lights that are on TVs or on your phone. So while you're sleeping, you don't have that like little red dot on your TV.
Right.
Seen that. Make sure your room is cool. It should be, I think it was at least 2 degrees cooler than outside or your ambient temperature, something like that. There's products called like 8 Sleep and Chili Pad that are literally like water toppers that go in your bed that heat or cool your mattress.
Okay.
They're expensive, but cool if you're in the market, awesome. Excuse me. But making sure it's cool when you sleep, right? So you don't have 17 comforters on you and you're just nuking yourself while you're asleep.
Yep.
You'll stay asleep a little bit better, making sure you're not drinking caffeine really that close to bed at all. I mean, we're drinking energy drinks, right? But it's also midday. But probably like 4 o'clock is when you should probably have that hard cutoff. Most people go to bed anywhere from like 9 o'clock to 11. If you work night shift, I'm not sure what to recommend to you because night
It'd
shift
probably be like the opposite, right?
But like night shift working just isn't good for the human population.
Right.
Albeit we need it, right? Because we have a high production in America, but that's a whole other situation. But I would just say get as much quality sleep as you can. Maybe don't eat right before bed. Don't have caffeine within 6-ish hours of going to sleep. Caffeine has a 2-hour half-life, meaning if you have a cup of coffee that's 100 milligrams caffeine, 2 hours later you're getting 50 milligrams of caffeine. 2 hours later you're getting 25 milligrams of caffeine. Right, so you don't really want caffeine in your system when you try to go to sleep.
Bad sleep.
Yeah,
So-
not going to go well.
What I wanted to say is I wanted to say thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you to the people that are watching. And it was also great meeting you.
Yeah, it was great meeting you. Great talking to you too.
So what I usually say at the end of my videos is be fruitful, do multiply, and we'll see you next time.
Cool.
Later.
Right on.
Thank you.
Thank you.